And we are live. Welcome back to a juicy episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. Man, do we have some things to talk about. It is the week of managers getting sacked. Some really notable figures in our fandom are sacked as of this week. So we're just going to jump straight into it without further ado. It's your boy Hen. It is a very interesting day to be a Manchester United fan. I'll tell you that much. We'll dive into Amorim being sacked as well as Maresca being sacked for Chelsea. We'll check in with the fellas per usual. Lucas, I'm actually going to start with you because you're the one who has the most stability of this pod today. We have all of us who have lost a manager and one of us wishing that they had. So Winks, how are you doing? Check in.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's not often that Arsenal's the most stable team of the group, but it was a good weekend. I think, I know what, yeah, I mean,
cool.
Very happy for you, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
6 points clear at a time when about 3 weeks ago, I think everybody saw City, on an absolute roll. And so for them to do what they did the last 2 weeks and for us to take 6, what was huge, and just glad we're not tying games. I'm glad to still have our manager, and life is good here in North London.
That's awesome. That's really cool. That's an awesome statement. That's sick. I'm so stoked for you.
January Premier League title that Arsenal wins these last couple of years.
I love it. Another man who still has a manager, Andy Hoover. How we feeling?
Yeah, wish I didn't, bro. I'm like, that meme of like Squidward
out the window or whatever?
Yeah, dude. That's how I feel. Everyone else's managers who are doing better than us got sacked, and there's not a word about Thomas the Frank engine. But yeah, life's good. Life's good. Can't weigh every single amount of emotion I have day to day on a team that isn't in my country. So I try not to, but it's hard when you do this podcast and really enjoy the footy. So, yep, Young Yet on Twitter, doing good. Everything's great. We're going to chip away at it.
And a good point against Sunderland. Don't get it twisted. Good point.
Yeah, shouldn't have been, but whatever.
Speaking of a point that shouldn't have been, Nick Hayflinger, how we doing?
That's the only thing I'm hanging on after of recent Chelsea news. Obviously, December has kind of bled its way into the new year as well. I've been feeling numb when it comes to being a Chelsea fan, but feeling blessed in every other aspect of life. So,
good way to put it.
Happy to be here. Pumped to be chatting with you guys. I do think this is going to be a spicy episode. Lots to talk about.
You get the sack. You get the sack. No, you get the sack. You get the sack.
Everybody gets sacked.
Everybody's sacked. Come on. Connor Sandobri, bring us home. How are we feeling?
Sorry if I was in Crew is literally running around in his bouncy, just staring at me right now. No, it's good. I mean, to me, it's like woke up this morning as shocked as I think all of us were with Amorim. I mean, I guess probably not as shocked as you would imagine. But yeah, crazy day in the Manchester United world. It's like I've texted it almost every day. It's like one normal day, please. But it's good to be here, fellas. It's good to be here. I did not expect both Chelsea and us to not have a manager going into these midweek fixtures, but here we fucking are.
The worst part of it is genuinely Maresca. Let's dive into Maresca. Maresca gets sacked, and I feel like it's interesting because it feels like two very similar situations. Just to catch everyone up to speed before I let Nikki dive in, both Enzo Maresca and Rúben Amorim have led their teams to somewhat of success this season in fifth and fourth place for you, fifth place for us. We're in touching distance of European competition and we've done pretty well. But the striking similarity between the two is this desire for control within the club when in regards to transfers, formations, who's playing, and then both managers let out like a pretty interesting press conference, post-game and a pre-game press conference, calling out the hierarchy, saying that they want more control, and both lead to sackings the next day, which is crazy. So, Nick, did you see this coming? Was this completely out of left field for you like it was for me?
Yes and no. Obviously, being a Chelsea supporter, it's like I feel like it's similar to loan. You can't fall in love with the Chelsea manager.
That's a good way of saying
Can't fall in love with your permanent manager.
Like, for real. You guys make fun of how little fandom I've had at Chelsea, but I think I've gone through double the amount of managers of all of you guys combined.
Very true.
time. So surprised, not a lot, but also like I really liked Maresca. I kind of liked what he was doing with the side. I think a lot of our flaws and things that weren't going well for this season could have been put on other things that I don't think were necessarily all on him. By no means do I think he was this unbelievable manager that he had no business of being sacking. I think his record at home was not great. And I think that has a lot of pull nowadays, unfortunately, for a manager at Chelsea, is how you can form at the Bridge, because that's the only games our ownership goes to and watches.
Hoover's just dying listening to this, not won a game at Tottenham Stadium in forever.
Yeah. But I think you hit it right on the head. This is obviously a larger problem for both of our clubs. Our ownership has an idea of what they want as far as the team goes, as far as who they want to play, as far as the manager goes. And I think we want a yes man, and Maresca was starting to push back a little bit, and he got the sack. This one hurts a little bit more than the others because I don't think I fully trusted them as much as I did Maresca. Like, I actually enjoyed,
Same, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed watching him play, and I thought like the potential was so there. Like, I think wherever he goes next is very lucky to get him as a coach. But obviously we have to move, and I said it earlier, the feeling that I have is numb, just because like I've felt this before. It's going to happen again. I think the next person that comes in is going to have the same problem. They're going to be told to play a certain way. And once they get to a spot where they think they can push us to the next level, they're going to give opinions and our board's going to shoot it down. So I don't think this is the last time that this will happen. I do want to hit on our interim coach getting a point against Manchester City and Pep is absolutely insane. The dude doesn't even have professional coaching licenses under his belt at the moment. And this stat I thought was wild. He had more points at the Etihad than Poch, Maresca, and Potter combined.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
So, thought that
it's so interesting watching from the outside looking in, right? Because like you just said, there, what's up, dog, in the background of Hoover's video. So it's funny. You know, obviously we mentioned that Amorim just got sacked as well for wanting to have this like more power thing, whatever. But when I look at like Chelsea, and obviously I'm not a Chelsea supporter, it's so easy to see what the story was there. Like, it's so easy to see that like Maresca's a good coach. Maresca has done nothing but good things. I mean, Tuchel probably is the best coach you all have had in 10 years, probably.
The same
and the same thing happened to him, but like Maresca is the second by a long shot. Like, I think he was significantly better than Potter, significantly better than Frank both times, significantly better than Pochettino. Like, he's doing good things, bro. He's in fourth. Like, it's not like you guys are down in 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Like, you're in fourth place, still very much
last month.
Totally. I hear you, bro. I hear that loud and clear. So it's just unfortunate. And I saw a statistic today, and you might have to fact check me here, but what is this? Like, y'all are on like your 19th manager in 20 years or some crazy shit like that. Like, it's impossible to have any sort of stability. And like you said, you're a little bit numb to it at the moment as a Chelsea fan, but it's like, what does this even say about like Chelsea Football Club? From like a culture standpoint, from like a history standpoint, you have to just feel like an idiot, like, to not only support Chelsea, but I even think about like, and I'm not bashing you, right? Like, I'm not bashing you. It's just like, it's impossible to get behind a project like that. But I also think like from the players' perspective, like, keep in mind, they have 76 players on their roster. They have guys who are coming in next season who they've already signed like pre-contract agreements with, trying to play under Enzo Maresca. And there's going to be 4 managers past Maresca by the time they get in next year. So it's just, it's so chaotic over there.
As much as I think you're harsh with the idiot take, but
it's disrespectful to fans. I think more so.
It's insanely disrespectful. It's
spinning the words.
Disrespectful.
It's hard to be like, hell yeah, Chelsea, my club, we're the best in the world. Like, I feel this more than anybody. It's like you're getting spat in the face by their reluctance to just accept and move with someone who's in position and doing okay. Like, you guys weren't world beaters. You won some made-up world championship.
Easy. They're the champions
PSG
of the world. Relax.
But that should carry some sort of weight, and it definitely did with the fans. Like, I think it's harsh on you guys.
We saw
fandom.
We saw the potential that could be there with the side, with the coach. And honestly, for me, and I've said it a bunch on this podcast, I think we're so young and so inexperienced that I think a lot of our downs were because of that, not because Maresca was not being a good coach or doing the right things. Like, I think there's a lot of other factors that come into this, and I'm shocked by it, but also not at the same time. I think Henry, going back to what Henry was saying, I 100% agree with you. But who wants to come play for us right now when you don't know if we're going to have the same coach in next year? Like,
Bro, I saw, and I know
anybody will go there because they know they'll get a 9-year deal.
true. Yeah. We'll pay you for it. So
Nicky, I know you don't like Rory Jennings, but Rory Jennings said a quote that was like, "We have one Cole Palmer and 100 Anicha Pongs." Like, you have just this like large group of players that are as mid as can be. When you spend that much money, it's like you should be buying Cole Palmer level players to go win a league. And that's where I would 100% get Maresca's frustration, because it's like he's being told to play certain players, to bring up, you know what I mean? It's like,
That's
the similarities between Amorim, and that's a little bit different, but it's both it's the coach, not a manager thing that we were they were texting about. Like, they're a coach being told how to coach and not a manager, so they can't decide the players, but then they're being told how to coach. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel for him for sure. I think everybody respects Maresca as a coach, thinks he's a good, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's what's crazy.
I think, yeah, that's the biggest difference for me. It's like, if that rumor about him not being on the touchline for his yellow card ban or whatever, and then him not really getting a direct say or having an influence into who's going on the pitch, if that's true, dude, that's the biggest difference between Amorim. Just wasn't necessarily given the reins and given what he needed to implement a style over 2 years. Like, yeah, the financial situations are different, but Chelsea came in, Chelsea's owners were like, we're going to do this FIFA manager career style.
Yeah.
We're buying all these players with a ton of potential, and we need you to win them now. Whereas Amorim didn't really have that leeway. But then they're saying, we're worried about the value of certain players. You need to play them. Dude, no one can run a job like that. You can't be a man.
I was never far off with Garnacho having blackmail. It's like pretty close.
Yeah.
The ownership forcing him down the throat, and it's like, it makes sense now why he had to fucking play him all the time.
Maresca can walk down the street to North London and get the project that he's wanted to, because Tottenham are willing to back up a manager and let him run. He would be great at Tottenham with what they're doing now for the wrong guy and Thomas Frank. He would be so good
anywhere. He'd be good anywhere.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes whenever you see manager sacked, you see like the neutral fan look at that manager and they're like, well, he wasn't this and he wasn't that. Like, I haven't seen anything about Maresca being like the wrong guy from anyone. So
I will say it is interesting. I've obviously, unfortunately, been in the depths of Chelsea social media the last couple of days.
But yeah,
it's pretty split. There's a lot of Chelsea fans that think, obviously they're ruthless because that's what we've come to know, is we don't have managers for long. And they think the performances of late and some of his decision making, which, like we're kind of finding out, might not have always been his decisions.
Right. That's the thing.
They think we're very poor and he wasn't getting results when he needed to, and he deserved to get sacked. Because of how much talent we do have. I don't fully agree with Dobes. Yes, I do think we have a lot of mid players, but I do think we have 4 or 5 Cole Palmers who I think are like high level players. Like if we're being honest, I think Caicedo,
Garnacho,
Cuckoo, Cole Palmer, and like this one could be biased and you guys may not agree. Like, I'm throwing Enzo in there, but like those are great players that I think are a good core, and I'm nervous for that core now because we can't hold a manager, and why would they want to believe into the project anymore because we have multiple managers? And all of that doesn't matter because Mr. Crewman's on the screen. So
Crew making his pod
with tears in his eyes.
I'll take Crew as the manager of Chelsea.
He's just joining until we go through Amorim.
I don't know. I don't know where Chelsea goes from here. Well, actually, we do know.
We do.
Tell us about this manager guy who's a lifelong Manchester United fan.
Yeah, so Liam Rozier, he's Strasbourg's. It's funny, every time I look him up right now, everything says coach. Nothing says manager. It all says...
That's the thing now. That's what it is.
Coach. And I'm just like, so he's Strasbourg's coach. Obviously, Blue or Clear Lake owns Strasbourg as well, so they're pretty much our sister team. So that's why a lot of our loanees and a lot of our players are even at Strasbourg at the moment. So it makes total sense as to why we are going that route. I will say everything that I've read, everything that I've seen, it shows that he's just going to be a yes man. There's one video that I'm clinging on to for hope because that's the only thing I can do at the moment is Wayne Rooney, which all of us probably respect his opinion a little bit, had an interview where he said that he was an incredible coach and credits him to a lot of his coaching style and philosophy nowadays. So I'm
Wait, Wayne Rooney credits him for his coaching style and philosophy.
Yes.
Do you know Wayne Rooney's track record as a manager?
Like historically, one of the worst managers.
Yeah, just period.
I was getting there. Like that's, I mean, Henry, that's what I'm holding on to, brother. That's all I got from this guy. I see a video of him at halftime that I'm like, who is this dude? But like,
Dude, I would have given a better halftime speech than that.
I will say, if you like playing devil's advocate, you put a camera in anyone's halftime,
totally.
You're gonna find some corny bits. But I was not like motivated out the wazoo when I saw that video of him. I was like, oh my word. But like I said, taking his coaching ability away, Wayne Rooney as a footballing brain, I respect. The fact that he is giving him a lot of credit and praise is a little bit of hope for me.
That's
a lot of non-hopeful stuff that is going on at Chelsea football.
You bring up a really interesting point about how you said everything that you're seeing, I just see coach. We're shifting into this day and age now in the football world that manager is not really a term that clubs are using a whole lot. It's like the meme of Sean Dyche of the utter woke nonsense. Like, which there's this like infatuation with having like 9, 10, 12 people above the coach who are making the decisions for the club. And everyone feels like they're equally important in this process. And so much so that you have an Enzo Maresca situation where the guy who's in charge of getting the results for the team can't even make decisions for the results of the team. Like, I just feel like there's this like really large shift in the world game right now that is just not moving in a good direction. It is not good.
I agree with, and I also find it quite interesting because I think some opposite examples of that are in Arsenal, are a Man City who have actual managers and seeing the success of them right now. Obviously, we could banter all day and night about Arsenal's trophy cabinet and how it's very minimal, but like, as far as them being in first right now and actually competing year in and year out in the top 4, like that's nothing to not be complaining about. And the fact that actually having a manager that they're relying in to do a lot of that decision making.
And Arteta's getting the guys that he wants.
Right.
Totally.
And Pep. Him and Pep are both
Yeah.
being managers, and look at the success of their clubs right now. I don't understand why this shift. I mean, I do understand it's a business. We're owned by Americans now, and Roman Abramovich isn't the owner of my club anymore. So we're very much leaving the footballing out of it, and we're a business now trying to run a business. And I hate that. But I don't understand why other clubs are trying to follow that formula. Are they wanting just to get more money, or are they wanting to win? Because clearly one way is working.
It's just like this obsession about data, bro. It's like everything is data. It's data. And like,
you're an analyst over here, brother.
Yeah, it's like,
That's all it was at Spurs for forever. And then we finally get rid of Levy, and they're like, all right, we can kind of maybe start to look to do what the top clubs in the world are doing. And it's not working currently because we gave the keys to the wrong guy. But I'm excited for that. Like, you're not going to get a Conte or a Jose Mourinho or a Xavi, or you're not going to get those guys without assurances, without that guarantee that they're going to actually be able to do what they want with the project.
Yeah, and I guess to play devil's advocate too, like, shifting maybe away from Chelsea and into Manchester United, like over the last, let's say, 12 years since Sir Alex Ferguson has left, there's been a significant amount of head coaches that we've had as well, managers that we've had that have had like significant weigh-ins on who the transfer targets are, who we want to get. And what happened is it led to like Rúben Amorim really acquiring a really fractured team. They had signings that were made under Ten Hag, signings that were made under Jose Mourinho, signings that were made under Louis van Gaal, and none of them were really like his signings. And so like the detriment of like the whole like manager thing and not kind of those, sporting directors and all of that stuff is that it can lead to having a fractured team. And I understand that, but if a club doesn't have like an identity or an ethos of like how they're being run, let's just use Arteta and Arsenal. Arteta could suggest someone that he thinks is a really good player, but if he doesn't fit like the identity of the club, or like I think about Hincapié, for example, Piero Hincapié coming in from Leverkusen over the summer, loan with an obligation, I believe, didn't play for the first like several weeks, just getting up to speed, whatever, who cares? The moment he like touches the field, he has the exact same demeanor as the rest of the back line. He's just as annoying as everyone else on Arsenal. He'll work his dick off. He can play just like every single one of their defenders. He can play center back. He can play left back. He can play right back. He's good with the ball at his feet. So like Arteta, whether he was the one who discovered him or it was someone else or whoever's in Edu's role now, I don't even know who's your sporting director now. Whoever identified him, it fits the ethos of the club. And Arteta could leave tomorrow and you still have like a really solid club. But Arteta is in alignment with the director of football, who's in alignment with the guy who's in charge of recruiting. And that was not the case at Chelsea, and it's certainly not the case at Manchester United either.
Big word for the St. Louis City fans as well, too. If you've gotten this far, hoping for some St. Louis City alignment, lads. We're looking for it.
Yeah, what if we bring in Wilfried Nancy as our assistant coach? Let's do that.
We should just fire Domit now and bring Nancy in.
Fuck me. Connor,
a club legend.
We're talking Rúben Amorim now, who we woke up this morning to him being sacked at like 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, 10 a.m. over in England.
I didn't even believe you when you sent the message, Henry. I was like, what is he talking about?
Bro.
And I like pull up fucking social media.
Here I am trying to be an overachiever going to 6 a.m. F45 class, and just my day's ruined immediately the moment I look at my phone.
Before we get to this, selfishly, I was so happy because I was like, this podcast is going to fucking suck. Are we going to talk?
Yeah.
Tired. The fact that you guys get to share my pain, I'm kind of happy for it.
It's funny that you say that because as soon as they fired Maresca, I was like, this is objectively hilarious. He just can't handle the heat. Maresca is out there criticizing them. They just can't handle it. The board of directors just can't handle it. And of course, they have to make an example of them. They can't just let a guy say something like that and not fire him. And then like literally today,
48 hours.
The one thing, actually, before we talk about Amorim, the one thing that we didn't touch on with Maresca that's crazy is that
talk with Manchester City?
That he's talked to Manchester City twice in the last like 2 or 3 months, and Chelsea knew about it.
Yes, because it was in his contract that he had to let us know when he was going to talk with other teams, and he apparently took 2 meetings with City, and we knew about it. I don't think that helped.
3 months ago.
Well, no, the most recent one I think was like a couple weeks ago.
Still crazy.
Yeah. Well, I will not be shocked if when Pep's contract is out in a year and a half that Maresca will be the new coach.
I think it could be Maresca. I think it could be Amorim too. Amorim, the whole reason he's at Manchester or was at Manchester United. Well, the only reason why he was at Manchester United is because Amorim was City's #1 target because they thought Pep was leaving last year. And so United went after him and Pep stayed for another year. What if Amorim ends up there? It would be fucking crazy. But Dubs, tell me something, dude. How did you feel when you saw the news this morning?
All right, I'm going to make this quick and brief. And it's like, I'm like sitting here with Crew on my lap, and it's one of those, it's like, the only thing I'm thinking about is it's like, this is like the start of the championship DVD right here. It's like Crew one day is going to like look at this. when Ole comes back and leads us to a Premier League title, like this is the start of the DVD. No, I think it's like it's really interesting because I know Henry and I were texting, and it's like Amorim has every single one of the like worst possible records that you could have with United. Win percentage, like you name it. I agree. But like what doesn't make sense is this wasn't performance based. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't based off we tied leads. He was going to get the sack on Monday morning, right? This was based off of his press conference and everything that happened in the press conference. But what's interesting for me is it's like not that I didn't care that he was leaving, but it was like this writing was on the wall. But at the same time, like I didn't expect it to happen. And I also think that when you listen to Amorim's press conference, part of me thinks that he did it on purpose. Like, he wanted the easy way out. He didn't want to dig in. I think that he wasn't getting backed, of course. Like, I think that Ineos needed to do something for him in January and take care of him. But at the same time, I also think he knew specifically what he's doing. He's a unbelievable public speaker. He is very strategic about what he says and how he says things. So when he said the stuff that he did in the press conference essentially about Jason Wilcox and Ineos, I think he knew specifically what he was doing and just wanted to be done. And then I think it was Ineos' excuse to just see it, man. If you want to be, you want to do go on this rant, see it, we're going to move on. So my initial reaction, it's one of those where it's am I sad? No. Did I expect it? Also no. I think so much of what I've seen over the past couple of weeks, it's do I want Amorim to be the guy? Of course, but the frustration of how we've been playing, the lack of results, there's no United DNA, there's no resemblance of the institution that is Man United, whether it's 3 at the back, whether it's 4 at the back. It's I texted Hen and Who, it's I don't care. Whatever the formation that you choose to play, play expansive, play attacking, play Manchester United football. It's there's 4 or 5 institutions in the world that you can clarify. I know exactly how Barcelona plays, right? Even Arsenal too, the way that Wenger built Arsenal, you know how they play. United, that I grew up on, played expansive, counterattacking, go at you, entertaining, off the edge of your seat, never give up. And there's no resemblance of any of that with Amorim, no matter what the formation is. I think we've gotten so caught up in the tactics, XYZ, this person needs to play here, but at the same time, I think bottom line is Amorim has not fit the DNA of what we want from Man United. Do I think that he got the time and, everything that he needed to be successful? I also agree with that. But at the same time, whoever comes in next, I want them to have some sort of piece of the club. Whether that be put Fletcher on the staff, or somebody that actually understands the ins and outs of Man United needs to be a part of it. So I don't know, man. It's one of those. Fletcher should not be our interim manager. I don't care. I don't care if he's managed the U18s and that's all he's done. So we'll see. I'm all up for Ole. I'm up for my first pick would be Roy Keane, just to come in till the end of the year. But somebody that knows the club. I don't know. I still really don't know what to think. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm still in shock.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
Roy Keane would be lit.
Yeah, I think that is the furthest thing from what will happen, but it was shared in the club announcement that Darren Fletcher will be in charge for the next game, probably the next 2 or 3, and then they're gonna appoint an actual interim manager for the rest of the season. Not hiring a permanent manager until the summer, which is also hilarious. How many times have we talked about St. Louis City, about firing a coach and not having a single plan of what to do? I personally think that the Rúben Amorim tenure was just doomed from the start, to be honest with you. And I think, similar to what we shared about Maresca, I think Amorim will go to whatever club next and be very successful in wherever he goes and whatever he does. I think he'll be better because of it. But you bring in a manager who tactically is 100% different than what the previous coach is. Not just the previous coaches played. I remember there was a time that Thomas Tuchel was being thrown around Antonio Conte was being thrown around about coming to Manchester United. And I was like, Conte plays a 3 in the back with wing backs and bombing forward, the left wing back, right wing back. There's just no way that Manchester United would ever go for that. And here we are, Amorim playing a 3, 5 at the back, whatever it's called, and then just not having the players to do it makes no sense. I think the appointment of Amorim says a lot about the club hierarchy, thinking that he's the right guy. And I feel like what's more and more apparent every single day is that Omar Barada, who's our CEO, came from Manchester City. He knew that he was, Amorim was Manchester City's number 1 choice. I think that they just pushed for that because of City having interest in Amorim. There was no actual reason to bring him in the first place. And so to bring in a manager that plays a completely different system, not give him the players that he needs, and then tell him to change his approach to fit what the guys above him should do makes no sense. And for as long as we've bitched about the Glazers, for the last, 15, 20 years. Like, we've bitched about the Glazers and how incompetent they are from a football perspective. Ineos are proving to be just as incompetent when it comes to making decisions. Like, and Rúben Amorim is the latest example of it, but this goes back to when they first were in charge. Erik ten Hag, like, his time was up way before he got sacked. He had a disastrous end of the campaign. Yes, he wins the trophy against Manchester City, but there's nothing wrong. Ange Postecoglou, there's nothing wrong with winning the trophy and saying thank you so much. You'll forever be remembered here, but we're parting ways now so we can move forward as a club. But Ineos says, no, he won the trophy. We can't make that decision to sack him. So we're going to bring him back. And then he invests 200 million over the summer to bring in new transfers for Ten Hag's system, only to sack him 3 months later. That's a terrible decision. In the same window, they bring in, what the fuck is his name from Newcastle, Dan Ashworth, to be the director of football. They pay off Newcastle, by the way, for Dan Ashworth to come in. They spend 20 million on him to come in. And then he's sacked within the first 3 months because Dan Ashworth refused to get on the Rúben Amorim train because he says there's no reason why Manchester United should ever play a 3 in the back system. So then they sack Dan Ashworth. 2 months after Sir Jim goes on public record and says Dan Ashworth is a 10 out of 10 sporting director, or director of football, sorry. We feel really good with him at the future of our club. They immediately sack him. And now with Rúben Amorim, they bring him in. They ask him to change his system. They publicly say, hey, we're not going to back you in January. What the fuck do you expect him to do? So it's like time and time again, this Ineos regime is proving to be incompetent in running a successful football club. And now you have guys like Jason Wilcox telling our coach, who, by the way, Jason Wilcox doesn't have a lick of coaching experience. Jason Wilcox is telling our coach how to coach, who to play, what formation to play, what to do, all of that. And so it's just, Nick, you said it when you were describing Chelsea, but your next manager will be a yes man. I am a firm believer, and ours will too. I do not believe, it's so funny, dude. So funny. I remember when Ten Hag got sacked, everyone was like, what's next? What are we doing? And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Ineos, are you mad?
Bro, I was like, as long as the Glazers are still here and Ineos are in charge, the next manager, it's not going to matter. And same thing here. People are throwing out dude, we should sign Xavi. We should sign Zidane.
I just saw that. Apparently that Xavi is pretty heating up.
There's no, sure.
He said months ago that he would be all over the United job.
But the thing is, it's sure, bring him in. But what are we going to do? Are we going to sign players to fit him?
Roy Keane would be massive, honestly. I think
he'd be great for the rest of the year. But I don't think
Roy Keane as a head coach, but put him on the staff.
Just in the locker room. Put him in the locker room and just literally be you just vibes guy. Fucking flip this shit around.
Dude, but it's grim. Also similar to you, Nick, what you were saying about how y'all are in this Champions League position right now. We're in 5th, dude. We're right there. The rest of the season is there for the taking. We play the rest of the season well. We're in European competition, which is super important for so many things. But then United coming out and saying yeah, we're not going to appoint a permanent manager until the summer, which I understand because you don't want to rush it and get it wrong and whatever. And we saw what appointing a manager halfway through the season did last time. But it's are we just fucking off the rest of the season? It's we're right there, dude. Why not just back the guy and back the guy in January, give him a couple of players that are good players that could play in any system. Go and sign a Carlos Baleba, who even if Amorim leaves, it's not Baleba is just a bad player. He's not going to fit in into a midfield 3. He's going to be great in that system. Go sign a winger or a center back, whatever it is. And then even a guy that plays a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3, whatever it is, can use that guy next year. Back Amorim in January, give him the rest of the season and part ways with him at the end of the season. I just don't understand. So it's just, I agree with you, Dobes, in the sense that he knew exactly what he was doing. Photos emerged today of him
Those
going on a walk with his,
as planned as could possibly be.
Yeah, going on a walk with his wife, just cheesing from ear to ear. There are so many reports today that as Rúben Amorim and his staff were leaving Carrington, they were laughing, making jokes. I saw stuff about big party in Lisbon tonight.
Dapping
Amorim's
up the journalists is crazy
hilarious
work.
Yeah,
crazy work.
It's well, then you wonder why the journalist was there. It's that's his boy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
Hey,
it's
I'm gonna go on a walk real quick. You want to come over and take
literally,
some
You
it's
guys
photos?
so
want to get
it's
the
just
best photo up you've gotten this year? I got you.
I was laughing today. It's like we're a Brennan Johnson back post tap it away from being in the Champions League and this never happening.
yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Like us getting back to making more signings and Amorim still having a job. Like, you know
Yeah, I
what I
mean,
mean?
we're Brennan Johnson tapping away from us signing Victor Gyökeres instead of Shesko, which I mean, fuck, we
Like,
can talk about that and all day long. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I just knew that it was coming to. I was telling my wife last night. I was telling her, I was like, hey, he's getting sacked for sure. I don't know when, but like he, made this press conference after the game. There's no way that that's going to go unchecked. He's getting sacked. Did not expect it to be this morning, but you knew it was coming. There's nothing that the next manager is going to be able to do with these guys in charge. It's going to be a yes man. And I think my crystal ball tells me it's going to be Darren Fletcher for the next 3 games. Then Ole is going to come back for the rest of the season, which like, whatever, bring the vibes. Fine, but the first time Ole was here, it was like Ole's at the wheel beating PSG. Like literally, I was through the roof excited. This time, it's just going to be like, well, what could have been? I'm not excited about it. I'm not like,
I will say, I think that's the last time I remember us playing expansive United football.
but then at the end of his tenure, bro, it was so bad. Play at the end of his tenure, it was so bad. Yeah, I don't know.
You want to hear a crazy stat that I just read?
Yeah.
Have you heard this? The Delit stat?
Yeah.
He is now going to continue his record of every single season having a new head coach at the start of the next season.
I mean, like,
entire career.
what do you even do with that?
To 2026, he's had a new coach every season.
That sucks. But he's that guy that you're talking about. Like, you bring in a new manager, or that Doves was kind of saying, you bring in a new manager, he's that DNA. Like, he's actually that guy that I see as United through and through,
Totally.
strong-willed leader, center back. Like, he's no Rio Ferdinand, but like, that's
He's what Harry
that's
Maguire
the
should have
profile.
been.
Yeah, I mean that's a good shout. I think a fully healthy DeLitt and a fully healthy Lisandro Martinez are going to be our starting center backs in a back four. I think that's what it's going to be. Lenny Yaro obviously still needs a little bit of time for him to progress in the way that he wants, and Aiden Heaven could be the same guy, but I don't know.
Fully healthy, both of those, he has a job right now.
Yeah, that's very true.
He has a job. Like if DeLitt doesn't get hurt, he is still in a job right now. No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important context for why you say like this had nothing to do with results, because you look at our bench over the weekend against Leeds United and it's
embarrassing.
Yeah, it was all academy players and then Bayendier and Xerxes. So it's like Bayendier and Xerxes were our first team players and the rest of them were academy players. We have injuries, we have AFCON that we knew about. It's just has nothing to do with results, and the results weren't good. So it's like two things can be true at the same time. The sacking was not about the results.
Silver lining is Kobe's free.
Yeah, and Garnacho's gone.
Kobe's free.
You guys have I've loved this, frankly, because you have all, both Chelsea and United, described what it was like to be under Daniel Levy for the entire tenure. So I'm sitting over here like, we're not talking about my owners. It's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, we've been talking about these owners of Manchester United. It's just, I really thought that Rúben was going to be the guy. Like, I remember thinking that Ten Hag was going to be the guy when he came in. I really thought it was, how wrong was I on that? But I really thought Rúben was going to be the guy. I thought
it's like you said, though, with the disrespect that the Chelsea fans should feel, like, what choice do you have? At some point, it's like, all right, you're going to back the new current permanent manager. And JP Murray, who, love him, hate him, he's got some ball knowledge. His whole thing, he's like, Ten Hag was miserable. Ten Hag's a terrible manager. Guy's an idiot. The whole time he's been like, I think Rúben figures it out. Now, I didn't think there was anything to discount that. Yes, you guys did not have great performances. Yes, he broke every, negative record that you possibly could have as a manager at United. But like, I saw it work. I saw a world where you did play the 3-5-2 or 3-5 Christmas tree, whatever it is, and it did work for sure. And he didn't have the players, he didn't have the backing, he didn't get the assistants, and too many higher ups decide that it's their problem now. So no, I'm with you. I
It's
don't think that was a bad call on your part.
it's a group of higher ups that aren't even settled into their own jobs, so they overemphasize how important they are because they are feeling insecure about their jobs. It's a whole mess, man. It's a wicked time for sure.
Hey, I'll hire Amorim so he can sell Garnacho for us.
I saw so many of those today.
Look,
Bring
man, we
Amorim
can
in so we can
You
offload.
play a little carousel. Chelsea can get Amorim. We'll take Maresca, and Frank will steady the wheel and be your yes man.
I don't want Thomas Frank. I don't want
Amorim.
anything about it. I don't want him.
I don't.
We're just at an influx point right now. Beside the top two and even Villa, it's wide open. So like signings would have given us the best shot to go for top four, and now we don't have a coach. And it's like, how do you make signings when you don't know who your next manager is?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's really not good. I mean, the only thing you can really hope is that like literally someone like a Carlos Baleba wanted to come to United regardless of who the coach is. Like that's what you hope on, that guys want to do that.
Or you spend 130 million on a bid for Vinny.
Yeah, I mean, God, do you know that he's gone 15 games in a row without a goal? Vinicius Jr. did.
I thought it was 18.
It might be 18. I mean, something came out like his transfer value is 150 million. I was like, you don't get to be 150 million and not score in 15 games. But
Dude, Rodri saved the footballing world by not letting that man win the Ballon d'Or. Saved the world.
Literally. Okay, before we talk some results, Nick, final word on Maresca. Any final thoughts on Maresca, Chelsea Football Club, and whatever the other guy's name is? I don't even know. Say his name again.
It's a new manager that I don't get to remember because he's
Liam
sacked.
Rosier.
Nikki, that was my whole running bit with Maresca,
Yeah.
is that I wasn't going to learn his name because he'd get sacked. And then I finally accepted that I was going to learn his name
As soon
because
as
he's
you
a
learn
good
it.
manager. And he gets sacked. I was right the whole time.
Yeah. And who? Do you
Liam
remember what I
Rosier.
said early on too? I said he was going to be a Chelsea legend. I literally was like,
Maresca?
I said it. I was like, he's going to bring us out of the fucking dirt. And
Kind of did for a little bit.
Honestly, hats off to him. I think he's going to be a very successful coach.
I do
in the
too.
future. I am not thrilled about my club right now, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. Not loving where the next 5 years look. But, you know, we're on that roller
5
coaster.
years, dude. Just get through the next 5 months. You don't even know what those look like.
And he's got too many 7-year blood contracts down. I understand the 5 year.
You say 5 months, but like this Liam guy's going to come in, and then in a year he's going to get sacked. So then I'm going to have it. Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle, Nikki.
Dubs, final words on Amorim and Manchester United?
I don't even know anymore, man. It's you wanted to give any else in the higher ups the benefit of the doubt. And
I
it's
don't.
like you get in the weeds of it. It's like Jason Wilcox is a Man City guy. Jim Ratcliffe, the club he owns is the other clubs he owns. Nice is doing, you know what I mean? So it's like you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but everything they have done is prove that they don't know what they're doing. And it's everything is like weighing thin on the fans. And here's the thing: it was like you heard Amorim's song be sang for minutes and minutes and minutes. Like they'll always back the manager no matter what. I don't know where we go from here, but we'll see. I'm optimistic just because I do think we have a solid squad that can finish top 5, top 6 at minimum Europa League if we make 1 or 2 signings. But I think Darren Fletcher has a massive job in front of him to where the pressure that he's going to be under to then go, no matter how many games, and it's like then whoever you bring in, like I do think we have a squad that can transition to a 4 in the back, 2 in the midfield, free Kobe, and you know what I mean? Then Bruno can go back to the 10. But at the same time, you just don't expect United to do the right thing. So I don't really know.
Yep. My final word is apathy. I feel completely apathetic towards that club. As a fan, I just feel like I've been dragged through the mud over the last however long. And looking forward to watching Kobe play. Looking forward to watch Bruno Fernandes higher up the field. Dobes, I want to give a special shout out to you, bro. Trading for Bruno Fernandes in fantasy right before he goes back to the 10. That's ball knowledge.
Big brain.
That's ball knowledge right there. What a week. I thought that we were just going to rip Nick for an hour on this podcast, and lo and behold,
Everything changed.
I'm right there with you. Winks, let's hear some
Winks has been silently just
Yeah.
taking shot after shot. I
we
respect
were complimentary of Arsenal. We were
We
complimentary.
were.
We said
weren't.
some nice things.
A compliment for the first time ever, I think.
Yeah. Bournemouth.
Before I go really quick, I mean, Amorim's tenure, he's been in more finals than Arteta. So
Darn right. Say it. Say it.
Have a good day.
Say it. Let's kick him from the call.
First place.
Winks, a 3-2 victory over Bournemouth. While they may not be in their best form, Bournemouth is still a very solid side. Takeaways.
Apparently, if you tie them, you get sacked. But
Yeah, allegedly.
yeah, so
Yeah, did you guys watch this game at all?
I did.
Yes.
So
I
you
was
guys,
trying to hate watch it, but I fucking couldn't.
it was probably really easy after the Gabriel mistake at the beginning of the game. I think so. I was watching it and was just like absolutely baffled when I see Gabriel try to make this pass right across the outside of our 18, just absolutely duffed it. You know, I think when he's been healthy, with how good he's been this year, I understand that, you know, even the best players in the world make mistakes sometimes, or the best at their position rather. But I think more importantly, especially knowing our history the last couple of years as a club, is I want to see how you react when you fuck up. And him getting his ass in the box, you know, less than 7 minutes later and putting one in with his weak foot on a volley is, I fucking love it. He is a center back, so like seeing him that far up in the box 7 minutes later, when I realized it was him who had hit it, I was like, the fuck is he doing all the way up there when it's, you know, not a set piece? It was great. So I think that for him to make that mistake, have his little pout for a quick sec, and then just like turn it back on business as usual, I think is a special quality in a player and a special quality in a center back. So very happy that went the way it did. Declan Rice, best 8 in the motherfucking world. He is unreal. I think
He's really good.
Yeah, man.
He said he's really good.
Still think we got him on sale
You did.
from West Ham. You know, he bossed the midfield. Obviously, he scored 2 goals, but he's just so calm and physical at the same time. I don't know, like coming out of the first half at the start of the second half, you know, historically minus, I think it was last game or the game before when we scored very early on in the second half, we've historically come out very slow in the second half. And I think that, you know, that can be attributed to several different things. I feel like we've had a fairly inconsistent starting 11 the last couple months with just little injuries here and there that have, you know, overlapped others. But seeing this, you know, almost completely full strength team come out in the second half and, you know, score 9 minutes in, led by Declan, it's a big deal. And he's not just a leader on our team this year, but I think he's far and above been our best overall player on both
Long
sides
shot.
of the ball.
I agree. Well, I think Odie's very good. Like
No, he's been ass,
he's
bro.
figured out
So
the last
he's
couple of
figuring it
games.
out for sure.
I just think offensively for Arsenal, it runs through Odegaard, in my opinion.
Did you see the clip where he received the ball inside the box, offensive box, on the right side of the goal, refused to cut to his right foot and dribbled it left-footed diagonally all the way outside the box and then passed it backwards? So good.
He's figuring it out. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Playing
he's
Eze out of a role right now. So I mean,
I would say I like Odegaard a lot.
Yeah, I think that there's been a lot of criticism from both me and this podcast on his performance this season and sort of his negative regression. But I think the last, you know, 4 or 5 games he's played, you know, he's had some impactful assists, you know, that we were missing at the beginning of the season from him. You know, I feel like he was sort of a ghost the first half of the season outside of, you know, when he was injured. So, you know, for him to be impactful in that way, regardless of if he's playing hold up play or not and dribbling it out of the box, like you said, Hen, and laying it off, you know, I think that his control is something that we value a lot on our team. Obviously, we're a very possession-based team, but we have other guys that can score. Granted, I think almost everybody on our team that started a game has scored a goal this season. So, if he's not going to be the one to shoot it, albeit there are definitely moments where he, should be taking a rip. His control is a very important piece to his game. But they, like you said, Bournemouth's not a bad team. They threw everything at us, especially late in the second half. I think we handled the pressure well. I don't know. Yeah, it
3
was
points is 3 points.
3 points is 3 points. And I think that, like I said during the intro, like big picture wise, this game was really impactful with Manchester City tying their last two and only taking 2 points while we take 6. That puts us 6 clear right now, and I've said it in several games, but I think there were a lot of points in this game where we looked very good, but at the beginning of the game and other key moments we didn't. And so I think that the theme the last month and a half has been like, even if it's not pretty, getting the 3 points anyways is a big deal, because this was a situation where not last season before, we would, make those mistakes and not be able to recover from it. And it led to our, dozens of draws that we've had over the dozens and dozens of draws that we've had, or losses that we've had over the last several seasons. So I think that there's been a mindset shift this year on, being okay with making the mistakes and winning ugly.
Super stoked for you.
I know you are, Hen. I appreciate that.
Mentality monster. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Liverpool
rest of
next,
us-
though. Liverpool next.
Yeah, it'll be a big one. You got 3 points. The rest of us got 3 points collectively. Every other game this weekend, other than yours, I think was a tie. So that's cool. Quickly, Leeds United. Don't need to spend too much time on it. 1-1 tie at Leeds. Brendan Aronson on the score sheet. A little bit of a mistake from Aiden Heaven. I think he just misread the goal.
100%.
Yeah, just misread it, and was really solid the rest of the game, just like he's been really solid the last several games. So no real qualms there. Lamens could have done better closing down the angle as the goalkeeper, but then he also had some mega saves in the second half, is what it is. Dobes and I mentioned it earlier, but our starting 11, I think, was like a page out of Arteta's book. We started like 7 defenders, so that was interesting. And then we had like all
We're
academy.
Thomas Frank, brother. I'll throw myself into that too.
We had like all academy players on the bench. So we had no options coming off the bench either, which isn't an excuse. It's just, again, poor management from the hierarchy side of things. Cunha was good. He scored a goal. He also had an offside goal that was outrageous. His volley that was disgusting. Doesn't count for anything, but it was cool nevertheless. And my last point is Benjamin Šeško needs to pick it up. I get like...
I never thought I'd say Xerxes looks good compared to him.
Bro, but Xerxes is a light switch player. Like the last 2 games, he was horrible. He was terrible the last 2 games, which is why he was on the bench for this game. But then he comes on and is like the best player on the field. So whatever, there's that. But inconsistent player. But Šeško, I get a little hesitant to like go in on Šeško. So we talked earlier, Šeško versus Gyökeres. Gyökeres has a full team around him that are all established international players. They all are like, he gets service consistently, bad shots, not a great conversion rate. There's all of that. Šeško,
As in your guys' words, the greatest center mid of all time.
doesn't he though?
There's no excuse for him either.
Playing at 6. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish.
Bro, dog shit, Hen.
There have been so many times this season where Šeško's been in the right position. There was like 2 or 3 times in this last game against Leeds where he found himself right where he needed to be and is like the least clinical guy. Actually, the second least clinical guy on the field. The most clinical guy on the field will always be Diego Dalot. Will always be Dalot. But Šeško is a close second. And from your 70 million striker, that's not what you want to see. You just don't want to see that. And I get hesitant from going in on him sometimes because I also feel like he doesn't always get the right service. He doesn't always get the opportunities. What was it, like 2 games ago when we took him off the field is the moment that we decided to start crossing the ball. So it's like he's 6'5", he can get up for headers. It doesn't really make any sense why he doesn't get the service, but he had the service this week and he just wasted opportunities again and again and again. He reminds me a lot of how Højlund was really wasteful in front of goals. Now, the one difference between him and Højlund is I think he's a little bit better in combination play, holds his back to goal a lot better, can combine. He's also also a little bit nicer with the ball at his feet, but I want to see him pick it up. Who knows? Maybe just having a change in system, whatever. We'll get him ignited. But yeah, 1-1, not the worst point to take away from an informed Leeds team. Let's go to Tottenham Sunderland. Another great point to take for Thomas the Frank engine.
Yeah, it just shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? It was arguably one of the better first halves we've had in a while, which is saying something. Total of 0.9 XG, which is big for us because we haven't totaled more than 0.2 in like 5 of our last 8. So that's sick. Here we are again, 2026, the year of our Lord. Ben Davies was one of the best players on the field for us.
Well, I was at soccer, and Will De La Roche was like, "Bro, Ben Davies scored." I said, "For you or against you? Could be either."
You think he continues to play, Hoof? Do you think he continues to play?
I don't know. I guess, dude. Like it's. I think I was reading some stuff.
Fantasy.
I was reading stuff that to have a natural left-footed left back actually does change things. You've got Jed Spence who's trying to cut in a lot and not naturally left-footed, not natural left back. That just ability to progress the ball is positive. But speaking of progression, that is really like the main kicker of this whole thing. It's 3 games. Progressive passes by midfielders. Crystal Palace away, Tottenham midfield, 4. Adam Wharton, 10. Brentford, Tottenham midfield, 7. Jordan Henderson, 10. Sunderland home, 5. Granit Xhaka, 7. This is a direction. Like, this is an instruction for the midfielders to not progress the ball. Like, it can't be any more obvious than that. So this Frank, whatever you call it, like haram ball, is driving me and everybody else involved insane. And then he's got the balls to come out in his post-game presser and say, in this league, you can't get it done 1-0. You got to get the second. My brother in Christ, you coached it to be a 1-0 finish. We're subbing on Paulinho and Bergvall in the 72nd minute for Archie Gray, who's in a 10 role, and Odebert, who was doing great, by the way. He subs in these 2 defensive, more defensive players, drops Bergvall a little bit. We let up a goal in 8 minutes. And then he waits another 8 minutes to sub in Jed Spence and Dane Scarlett. So the hypocrisy from this guy drives me insane. The fact that he's like, we really needed that second goal, which we did. Rando Kolo Muani sucks. That guy sucks. He has the first touch of a child predator, bro. I am not sold out on this guy.
I remember when we thought he was such a dog at PSG, and he was.
And he was a dog.
It's been regression. It's been players that aren't good around you.
I think that is one of the hardest parts. Like, there are times, a couple games ago, where I just saw him like pick up the ball and like beat 2 or 3 guys on a dribble, where I'm like, the quality's there, but it's like, if you don't have the guys around you, it's like you're overplaying, you're trying to do too much, but then like things don't come off. It's like, it's just a bad situation. Like,
But even then, Pedro Porro plays him in beautifully on a break, on a one-on-one, and the dude's touch drives him 10 feet left of the goal, and then he's got nothing to go off of from there. So
that one, I did think to myself on that play in particular, I was like, could I have done better on that one? Like, I don't know.
It was that one drove me insane.
Also, is he a loan player, or was that a full purchase?
Yeah, he's a loan. He's straight loan right now. I don't need him to stay, but at the same time, we just sold Brennan Johnson. Kudus goes down. Now we're like, okay, well, we're short on wingers. That's sick.
And is Tell going to go on a loan?
I have an Argentine one that you can have.
I don't know. I thought Tell was, a lot of people were bagging him online, but I thought he was willing to do things that we've not been doing. Like, first 2 minutes of the game, he gets the ball top of the box. He just has a shot. Like, he was ready to do stuff like that I've not seen from other players. And I think that's the youth that everyone's really excited about. And you can see that the talent's there. But also, how are we going to sit here and drag a kid in his first start in 3 months?
Yeah.
The kid hasn't seen the field.
Right.
It's chicken or the egg. It's whatever you want it to be. But all of it comes down to Thomas Frank and his inability to be expansive. He started 4 attacking players, and the first half looked great. Why did we need to decide that that was just going to be it? We let Sunderland back into the game. They score a great goal.
Awesome
By
goal.
no means it was a great team buildup, and it was a hell of a finish by Bravi. So I wasn't upset about that. And he was right. You can't watch that game finish 1-0 because Sunderland are like that, and they've got it this season, and they're, considerably further than us on the table. And ultimately, if we're looking at this as a Chelsea side who's sitting in sixth, yeah, that is a good point. But the fact that we were on top for so long, and then the reluctancy to try and go get that second and just pack it in against a team that can bite you like that, nuts, dude, nuts. It melts my face, and it's so hard to.
Yeah, they're probably the most boring team to watch in the Premier League right
Hands
now,
down.
unfortunately.
Hands down, the most boring team to watch. And you know who that doesn't fly with? 65,000 Tottenham fans who boo him pretty much every result that we finish at home. And us on the Dr. Tottenham bit that we've been on. Guess who we play next? Who haven't won in 11 games? Bournemouth. They are going to run us through the wall, bro.
Can't
We
wait.
are going absolutely mopped. They're gonna mop the floor with our faces. I've never been more confident about anything.
Potentially a Semenyo-less Bournemouth, though.
Dude, Semenyo, Deplenio, Temenyo, I don't care, brother. They're gonna do it. I'm confident. Clivert's gonna just be the guy.
That's so funny. I love that.
Whatever.
Who cares? Quick note, Fulham 2-2 against Liverpool. If you have not watched Fulham's tying goal in like the 98th
Good
minute,
God.
dude, Harrison Reed, a guy that also doesn't see the field. It's like every once in a while, I feel like Fulham just pulls someone out of like their ass that just scores bangers, but
Yeah.
it's a great
Did we
goal.
see the video of the Fulham guys on Nigeria?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It was Lookman and
Iwobi.
He was like 2-2 in the finish. He's like, who? He goes, Reedy. And he goes, Reedy.
It's so good. I love it. Shout out AFCON. That's still going on. It's so fun to watch. Go Cameroon. I'm cheering for Cameroon. Okay, last game that we'll talk about, last point that we'll make today. This is the game that I wanted to be the game of the weekend. I really was looking forward to it, and it was just kind of like, in my opinion, City, Chelsea 1-1 at the death, 1-1 in extra time maybe, or just the closing minutes of the game. Nikki, good point for you considering how the game was played out and that you don't have a coach.
Yeah, I wish I could celebrate this point, but I didn't really get to because of the news of the weekend. Because if we would have had Maresca, it would have been a good point for us to get against a Manchester City team who's playing really well right now. I do want to give, I've already said it, I want to give our interim coach a lot of credit because going up against Pep with a side who is playing very, very well and to get a point against them, I think is incredible. I find it interesting, the lineup that he selected. Obviously, we've been talking about how our board might have some say in lineup, but this is a lineup that I don't think we've seen all season. So I think it's kind of interesting how he was able to make some of these decisions, but he didn't start Garnacho and he put Neto out on left. He started Esteval out on right. And our back four was Gusto at the left, which we haven't really seen a lot of. Badiashile, which I could have told you would have let up a goal because he was starting. And then Josh Achapong at right back. I will die on this hill. Reece James is my favorite fucking player, probably of all time at this point, because I think you can put him anywhere on the pitch and he's just a natural footballer and can figure it out. Him in the midfield was great. I thought the subs that he made were great at half. A lot of the Chelsea fans that I'm in a group message with were not happy that Esteval came off at half. I wasn't thrilled either, but I've said it a couple times and I'll kind of say it again. I like Cole out on right a lot more than I like him in the midfield. I think he kind of slows it down a little bit for us in there. And I think him going out to right and Esteval going off the field and Santos coming on and being in the midfield, I think drastically changed the game for us. Obviously, it being 1-0 for a long time, I always thought we were in it. So I never really felt like we were going to lose this game, if that kind of makes sense. Like, if they would have scored another one, I would have shut up and turned it off and been like, it's fucking over. But I definitely thought just kind of how the story was being wrote, it was going to happen. And I'm pumped that Enzo was in the right place at the right time.
I couldn't believe City didn't score another. Like, they were
crazy.
They were so wasteful. Like, they played, in my opinion, they played terribly. Like, it was just, it was so bad.
Yeah, we had a lot of chances as well. Like, I think I don't have the stats in front of me, but like, I'm almost positive we had more big chances created and more XG. Like, I think we also had the opportunity to score more goals than what we had. But I agree with you. I don't think
I think the XG is a little inflated though, because Enzo had 2 point blank. Like, he shot the ball twice on
I
his
get what you're
goal.
saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like right in front. Yeah.
But I thought as much as it's funny, the goal was because of Badia's shield, but I thought how we played defense on Holland, I was very happy with.
Took him
I
out.
think Holland was a dog, and I'm so happy and grateful that
He should have had a goal too. That was inches.
correct. Could have had a goal as well. But I'm super pumped about a point, but also like not that thrilled because the future of my club isn't very clear right now. Like, is that a wasteful point? I'm not really sure. We'll see.
Yeah. Who knows? The one thing that we do know for sure is that Manchester United, Chelsea both do not have head coaches. The rest of the clubs do. This is crazy.
Whether or not they should.
Yep. It's still up for debate.
For better or for worse, boys.
Also, Nuno Espirito Santos might set the record for the first manager to be sacked twice in the same Premier League season. He's getting close. That's an interesting one to watch. Watch this space. There's a lot of months left. But that'll wrap it for this week's episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. As always, hit us up on the socials, the Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube as well. We're there responding to comments. And cheers, fellas.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, boys.